Hi, I'm here today with a dehumidifier by Waykar. This thing is really powerful. Do not let the size fool you. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. This thing covers up to 2,000 square feet. This is much smaller in size than a lot of the other dehumidifiers out there, making it a much more portable option. It has a nice little handle right up here. You can pick it up. It's got wheels. Let's talk more about the wonderful features of this dehumidifier. This is a dehumidifier by Waykar. This is really small, but it's also really powerful. It covers up to 2,000 square feet. Compared to a lot of the other dehumidifiers on Amazon, it is much smaller and much more compact. It has a really nice handle right here, so you can pick it up if you wanted to. I would say it's fairly lightweight, but it's still fairly heavy, right? This is not a toy, it is a dehumidifier. You notice here it says, attention, please ensure the air outlet is fully open before operating the machine. So when you first get it, you just push down on this and you're good to go. You're also supposed to let it sit upright for, I think, at least 24 hours. So make sure you read the directions before you decide to run it. This is the cord for the dehumidifier, and I would say it's fairly long. It's about the same length as cords for other dehumidifiers you find on Amazon. And just like other dehumidifiers from other brands, this one has wheels, so you can wheel it around. This one's a little bit easier to wheel around than some of the bigger ones. Perhaps it's because of the size. It's a little bit lower to the ground, so when I push it, it just moves a little bit easier. As far as the weight, it's still fairly heavy, but it's lighter than a lot of the bigger, bulkier models. But don't think it's necessarily lightweight, right? This is a heavy piece of machinery. You know, this is not a cheaply made product. To turn it on, you just press the power button. And let's see if it starts up. It does. So sometimes it doesn't start up when you turn it on. It depends on what your humidity is set at. So right here, this number here, 57, that's the humidity of the room that I am in. 76 is the temperature. To set the humidity, what you do is you press and hold the settings button. There it is. So now it's set at 35, 40, 50, 55, 50, 55, 60. Let's set it at 70. And now I'm going to turn it off. So watch this. When I turn it back on, it doesn't turn on. And the reason it doesn't turn on is because I have it set at 70. So when the humidity level rises, it will turn back on and lower the humidity level back to 70, right? So you can set the humidity at what you want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and press the settings button again. Let's go to 30. And there we go. Now it turns back on. Really nice. You can set the humidity level. Now you see it's 58 in here. That's the humidity level, and there is the temperature. I should emphasize that because it's set at 30, it's in what's called continuous mode. I feel like this is the easiest way to use the dehumidifier. You basically set it at 30 and it just runs forever until it fills up. When it fills up, all you have to do is empty the tank down here. So basically you just open this up. You probably should turn it off first. And then this will be full of water. You dump it out and then you put it back in and you are good to go. This has 2 fan speeds. You see the little fan spinning there, so I can press it again. And that's a higher fan speed. You can hear how it's much faster now. Press it again, it's a lower fan speed. So really simple, right? Only 2 options for a fan speed. And then here again, this is where you set the humidity. 30 means continuous, and everything else, it will run until it reaches that humidity level or until it fills up. When it does fill up, by the way, it does shut off automatically, which is really quite nice. It also does have the option for a continuous drain. You can do that if you decide to do it. Personally, I have never done that with any dehumidifier I've ever owned. I just usually run them in continuous mode, and then whenever it fills up, I empty it, and that's a really easy way to do it. Of course, you can set the humidity level if you like, but again, setting it at 30, well, right now it's 45. Let's go back to 30. So now it'll just run forever until it fills up. I think that's probably the easiest way to use this machine. The machine will make funny sounds sometimes. All dehumidifiers do stuff like that. They are really complex machines, and that's normal. So if you hear funny sounds with any dehumidifier, not just this one, in my experience, it's been okay. I've had quite a few dehumidifiers, and I've never had a problem with any of them. This is the kind of thing that you buy and you just run it forever, right? And it really, really makes a difference. This is the instruction manual for the dehumidifier. Here it talks about how it needs to be standing upright and outside the box for 24 hours before plugging it in. And that's the case, I believe, for all dehumidifiers. Every single one I've ever looked at does have those directions and gives you all kinds of, warnings and stuff and things you should do, things you shouldn't do. Talks about the different parts, right? The control panel, the water tank, I showed you that already. It does have an air filter. Here it talks a little bit more about the controls. Really simple controls on this one. Talks about the setting button, and as you see here, setting it at 30, the dehumidifier will be at continuous dehumidifying mode. That basically means it runs forever until it fills up. Talks about the speed button, right? We have two options for the speed button. The bucket full indicator light. So when the bucket is full, the light will flash and the machine will automatically shut off. After it's emptied, put the bucket back in place, then the indicator will go out and the machine will restart. So it's really easy. That's why I was saying you just run it in continuous mode, right? So you set it at 30 and you just let it run. And when it fills up, it fills up, it stops. You empty it whenever you get a chance, put it back in, and it just starts up again. And then that's how you, live your life with this dehumidifier. That's how I have always done it with other dehumidifiers I have owned, right? I just let them run forever. And I think they're meant to run, for a long time. I mean, it even has that option where you can drain it continuously, but I have never really felt the need to do that. I just run it until it fills, and when it's off, the humidity level isn't going to rise that much. I should emphasize that you will notice a difference with a dehumidifier like this. If you live in an environment where it's really hot and sticky and your air conditioning is struggling to keep up, getting one of these will make a difference. In fact, that's why I bought my first dehumidifier, because I live in an area where it's very hot and sticky, and I wanted something that would, cool me off. And my AC was old and I had a hard time keeping up. So I got my first dehumidifier, which wasn't this one, it was another brand. And it made a huge difference, right? Dehumidifiers make a difference. It felt cooler in the house at 79 degrees with a dehumidifier. So having my house at 79 with one of these things, lowering the humidity level, makes it feel much, much cooler. That hot and sticky feeling will be no more when you buy one of these. I should also mention that it does come with a hose for the continuous drain option if you choose to do that, which is really quite nice. Most other dehumidifiers don't come with this. In fact, I don't think I've seen any that come with this. I don't recall. Usually on other dehumidifiers, the hose is a little bit bigger. You would plug in like a regular hose. You would plug in like, a garden hose. Whereas here it's a much smaller hose. And perhaps that's why they decided to include it and other dehumidifiers from other companies did not. So I really like that the hose is included. I think that's a big, big plus. And I think you'll be more likely to try the continuous mode because it includes the hose. If you had to use a garden hose, chances are you wouldn't try it. So I think that is a cool feature of this particular dehumidifier. Overall, I think this is a really nice dehumidifier. I would say the pros of this one are the size. It's a lot smaller than other dehumidifiers I've looked at. The cost is pretty affordable compared to a lot of the other ones. The portability, right, it's got a handle. A lot of dehumidifiers don't have a handle like this. Instead, they have handles on the sides. I kind of prefer this. This is a little bit nicer. The height, because it's lower to the ground, it's actually easier to move around. I'm on carpet, so it's hard to move around anyways, but compared to taller dehumidifiers, it's harder to move. So because it's smaller, it's easier to wheel around. I would say the cord is about an average length, but yeah, I like it a lot. I think this is a great choice if you're looking for a dehumidifier. I hope this video has been helpful. Good luck.